Welcome to another live episode of your favorite podcast, Monday podcast, Loud and Proud Orlando. Thanks for joining us live. And don't forget to drop your comments after every topic or anything that you want to comment. Just put it in that little box and we will read it out to you. And I'm with the best host in town, John and Luis. Luis, how are you, my friend?
I mean, I'm a little sad, after the Minnesota result for sure. We just can't really score, and we'll discuss that and more. But we gotta, like the title of the show says today, we gotta pick ourselves back up. Like we have a huge game coming up against Tigres, and I mean, this is gonna be the game, in my opinion. Before people start pressing the panic button. I think, being out of Champions Cup and also being -6 in goal differential, it's huge. So we'll discuss all of that and more. But I'm a little. I still have some hope for sure. I'm hopeful. So I have no doubt that we're hopefully going to do great, John.
Yeah, I mean, I think left on Saturday a little bit disappointed, a little bit, frustrated, definitely, because we should have won that one. But overall, it's the beginning of the season. We're having a little growing pains, right? A little. We need to glue a little bit, like Oscar's saying.
A little glue.
So yeah, a little glue time. I'm willing to allow a little glue time, especially with Champions League going on. But I think this one, the most important thing is that we should have won it, right? It's not like we played so badly we had no chance. We had the chances to win this game. We just didn't win the game, and that's where a lot of the frustration comes from.
Indeed.
I agree. I agree. Well, in today's topic, we're gonna obviously talk about the Minnesota loss, unfortunately. And then we're gonna do a little preview of what's coming tomorrow against Tigres in Mexico. The team is already in Mexico. They arrived yesterday, so they're ready to rumble. So let's read some comments before jumping into the Minnesota game. Daniel Phillips. Hi, my friend. How are you, Danny? Obviously, we're all unhappy with the result, but you have to admit that attack hasn't been that direct in a long time. I encourage we can start finishing. Yep. Yep, that's true, my friend.
I
That's true.
agree, Daniel. I think we the game opened up like we haven't seen before in this one, right? Like Angulo had a lot of direct attacks. We had Enrique had a few direct attacks. This is a shame that we seem to get to that point and we're not like just shooting straight away. Like Duncan's second goal, he just did that. He just shot straight away, and that's what we need Angulo to do. That's what we need Enrique. They almost like get to that point and then second guess themselves when they just need to either make the pass or make the shot. And we're just making the wrong decision often in that scenario. So hopefully that gets better and we see the right decision and then all of those chances turn into goals.
No, I mean, I agree with you, and I do want to say that we need to. It's just we one thing that really went against us was just the careless defending and giveaways that we did. I feel like we'll discuss this more in detail with Pedro, and I mean that Pedro thing. It's crazy. So I don't know if he's going through something. Just he something's not clicking, for him. Just having a bad day at the office. But a lot of people are saying this 2 bad days at the office now, right? And people are starting to kind of freak out about that. But other than that, I do believe he's still a number one for Orlando City, still a number one keeper. But you don't just let Timo Pukki like carve you up like that. It just to me just it was such a beautiful night from the fan base. It was 23,000 people. What it meant of the OGs being in actual Intercoast Stadium, and the people working there at the club, everything was perfect. It was a great night. And you lose on your anniversary night. Like that, I imagine for people at the West Club how they felt, and maybe people from the wall, that and again I do have to say, kudos to the wall because they kept chanting nonstop throughout 90 minutes, and
They have more trumpets. I don't know if you noticed, but they have more trumpets.
they
I
got
heard them
trumpets,
really loud.
and so they can start a ska band if they want, with those trumpets. But I thought I thought just everything was set in motion for today, just the floodgates to open, and Orlando maybe win like 4-2. I thought at first when Duncan tied it up, I said we're gonna score two more. I was like we're gonna score two more, and we almost did, right? But it's just these things about the finishing touch is this an ongoing thing. And Oscar is, it's not, he didn't really, he said they're gonna get better, they're gonna get better, get better, and we'll hope we see that against Tigres.
Hopefully, let's see. But first, we want to share a little bit of what we saw on Saturday night. Like Luis said, the attendance was 23,025 people. It was super busy, and I was like, wow, I was amazed. And I hopefully we can see that more in the future games, the same attendance, because that will be giving the team hope and that motivation as well. We also saw another history, like we said, we saw ex players, former players um from the club. It was super nice to see all those previous players. Look at John,
Jimmy Chin,
repping that swag
Dennis
right
Chin,
there.
everyone.
USL Legends, we had the vault. I don't know if you had the opportunity to see the vault, and I believe that should have been there since the beginning of this stadium opened, right? It's super cool. You can see all the trophies, and hopefully that stays. That doesn't go away. I don't know if you know, but if that's going away or staying, that's so awesome. Look at that poster right
Yeah,
there.
that's an amazing
USL
poster right
and
there.
MLS legends right there, like
There
Dom
you go.
Dwyer. I can see anymore, but
Gorgeous, man.
okay.
Who did that? Who did that poster? Was that
I think
the
it's
left?
Matt Stone or his team. Matt
It,
Stone is
it
the
was, it
graphic
was
designer. I
it's
know he
great.
did the big Honor Thy History X,
Yeah,
but just some of the stuff around the game was really cool.
everything was said in Miss Gay was there, like a
Yes,
huge part of the whole puzzle, right?
They got all the
There,
new Mitchell and Ness nerd
Mitchell.
merch, which is
Yeah,
there
really
you
cool.
go.
It's
I
the
got
new
the new
hat.
era one, but
Look at that
yeah,
dope Lex logo on the side
there
there.
you go.
should
Look
have
at this.
waited,
Look at
Luis, a
this.
little bit more. You had that one.
I know.
I had to get it. It's too nice.
Yeah, so everything was set in motion for the team to do it. The fastest goal in Orlando City history happened in this night. It was such a special night, man. And it just, to me, it just, and I know this, I'm just speaking from the heart. It sucks
It
not
sucks.
to
Yeah, I was heartbroken on
lose
Saturday.
against Minnesota, and not only that, the scuffle at the end too. We'll talk about that later. Should have never happened. You already lost. Just why you, and I'm upset at Wilder at this. Why you, I mean, look, they could say whatever they want. They could have, and I know that the kid Owasei that scored the last goal taunted the wall, literally. Taunted, took his shirt out, did the messy thing. Right, but and obviously the wall is gonna respond back. But that should not translate to the players, man. Like we're already going down under. There's already questionings about like the finishing touch. Why getting a red card for violent conduct, just like you did last season? To me, I never understood that. I think he should have taken the high road. And if the keeper from Minnesota, St. Clair, would have said to him, "Oh yeah, you suck," he said, "Okay, well I suck. Whatever, walk away." Honestly, there was really no. Apparently, when it was bad, I have a source. I'm not gonna say, but apparently in the tunnel, Like it was bad. So we should not get to that level. It's just my opinion. We have the footage right here. Thank you to Orlando City Communications right here. Like that's the. So Duncan McGuire, man, like I bet Blackburn is like, you know, listening to a lot of emo and sad music. 2
Face
goals
palming
already,
themselves.
huh? Amazing. It was one of the fastest goal in the in Orlando City history, and you know, he was close to a second one right there, to a brace. You know, uh,
Crazy.
overall, I mean, Orlando had it. Um, look how fast. You see right there, that one. That was Felipe too. That's a huge miss, right? And that's Angulo right there. I mean, tons of chances that should have been that one came. Minnesota, I do have to say, I think the center back duo, they did great in certain parts of on the attacking third for Orlando, but they're definitely not a Columbus. They're not a Philly. Those teams are much better in my opinion. But I don't know. What do you thought about that, John?
On what? Sorry, buddy.
On the game overall, on
Oh,
what we're watching.
yeah. I just like I said, overall we didn't take our chances. We had way more chances. Like Foot Mob shows that we had 7 big chances, and yeah, none of those. Like really, we had Duncan as one of those. I'd say I wouldn't really call his second goal much of a big chance. I would say that was more something that he created out of nothing. So you can look. I mean, I wrote down in my notes. There's a bunch of opportunities. There's a Felipe, obviously the miss right next to the goal. There's Ojeda where he hits it straight at the goalkeeper. Angulo, like we just saw, the really poor shot. Another one from Laredo where he hits it straight at the goalkeeper. Then Ojeda with the bicycle miss. And they're just the ones in the highlights. I mean, there's more if you go back and watch the whole game. It was just very wasteful is the word I would use. We created a lot, which is great because we were worried about creating, and we weren't quite doing that enough in the other games. But like Daniel Phillips said, it's encouraging to see that level of attack and how aggressive we were, how quickly we were on the buildup. But we just got to finish our chances, and that's what happens if you don't finish your chances, and then like we'll talk about, you make some mistakes. That's how you end up losing a game 3-2, which you should have won 3-2.
Not even 3-2. I think 3-1.
Yeah, we could have won. We could have won it like 5-1
or 5-1.
5-2. Yeah, I mean Pukki's goal, his second goal, definitely like that. That's a good piece of play by him. We could have marked him a little bit better. Schlegel kind of comes out and rushes him, but overall, it's a pretty good shot. Something that maybe we hadn't have stopped. The first one, Pedro, we can all see was all on him, and that's his mistake.
Yeah,
And then the last goal is Schlegel and Mikey not making a challenge, and again, just simple mistakes at the back, not making the tackle, and leaves ourselves exposed, and that's another goal. So, we gave them 2 with poor defending, in my opinion, when really we should have scored 4. It could have been 4-1. I was looking at the results around the league. Atlanta won 4-1, right? That's what the kind of result we should have got. Instead, we ended up looking like Miami losing to Montreal 3-2 at home.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, go ahead, Lee. Sorry.
well, Montreal is flying, and
I mean, that was good to see that we got the 0-0 and they beat Miami, but same thing, right? Miami shouldn't be losing that game at home.
Right. I do want to say that, it was, to me, it was, I mean, on both goals on the first 2 goals for Minnesota, I mean, to me, I feel like Galese had a lot to do with it. Be completely unbiased here. Then the first one, he just gave it away. And then on the second one, I felt he should have been closer to his near post. and he could have done a little more. And I did write it on my editorial. And honestly, the second goal came when Orlando was playing the best, and it just kind of switched the momentum immediately. So those are opportunities. We had so many opportunities throughout the game, and these type of mistakes, it truly brings down the momentum of the team, and boosts the momentum of the rival team. That you're playing against, and I feel like I haven't seen Galeza play this bad since maybe he was in Tiburones from Veracruz, like in Mexico, like honestly. So it's been a long time. Obviously, he's not perfect, but these are little things that we should not happen if you want to contend for a championship. Now, I know that this just started, and like I said, I'm super hopeful of what this team can do. But you know, against Tigres, like we need to see the best of every single one. And what I'm worried about is not with that Araujo injury, which there's no updates for it either right now. Our mid literally is going to be Felipe and Cartagena. You know, so I don't know. I don't know. What do you think about that, John? Felipe and Cartagena as your starting mid
Well,
with
yeah,
Ladero, more
I
than
gotta
likely.
put in the notes about that on you know, the future and where we go with what looks like Cesar out for a long time. Paula, we were talking last pod about two strikers. Um, you know, it could be an option to go into that, but I think moving away so much from the 4-2-3-1 and what we know isn't a great idea. So I don't know, Paula. What do you think we would do if Cesar's out for? It could be multiple months.
I mean, I was thinking about not Duncan, sorry, Dagger going to the midfield, but at the same time,
I
he's
had that same thought.
dominating. He's dominating that right back position.
I was like, yeah, you could play Kyle Smith there, but then honestly, I'd
Or
rather play
Holiday.
Smith over Santos right now at left back, and then you'd have to
Hmm.
play Mikey Holiday at right back. So it's like we don't have enough good fullbacks
Wiggle
right
room there.
now to
Mm-mm.
cover him going into the mid.
Yes. So I was having that debate myself, but at the same time, is this really like, are we right now this season? Is the double pivot working for us? That's the real question. Like the
Right
first
now, no.
games. Well, go ahead, Lee. Sorry.
Right now, no.
No. So this is the
No.
time if they want to, like, Cesar is out, let's see if other techniques will work, right? Like Felipe should be there, or I don't know if Duncan can go there, like for a trial, like for one game, see the opponent and see if they're not as strong, and we can like accommodate Holiday in that right back position, and Dagger going into the midfield and help. But at the same time, it's a risky move because we only have 1 point in the season thus far. We should have won on Saturday, and for me, it could be Felipe. I seen Felipe start having more minutes this season, and I like what I have seen. I didn't like the 47 minute that he missed that chance of goal, and he was next to the to
Right.
the goal.
He
He
lost a
lost
clear
control.
chance.
Yeah, he lost a good chance, and then on the first game, they waved that goal from him. I think it's coming. I think a goal for Felipe is coming, and that little push for him, and that little motivation coming back to him, it will be soon. But I rather see Felipe right now. There's no time for looking for formulas right now, because we need a 3 point as soon as possible for the MLS league.
Sure. Gnocchi says Gio, and we can still get another center mid. Why not? It could be a trade within an MLS, or we can still Anthony Solis maybe try to 4-4-2 diamond, or a 4-1-4-1, or a 4-1-3-2. The 4-4-2 to me would be the ideal. The ideal. We gotta be able to adapt. We had to adapt to a new system. We can't just be playing 4-2-3-1. Daniel Phillips, Cesar was crying on the sideline. Yeah, he came out in a wheelchair. I mean, it is a bad, but I think, look, if your team is losing and you're in the standings, -6, so goal differential. I know this just started, and I'm not trying to be negative, but I'm trying to say, just tell people what happened. Like, there's really nothing wrong. I mean, Cesar is injured. I mean, what are the extents of his injuries? So, some of the fans do deserve sometimes to, put some cold pads on that wound and make it soak and just move on, right? George Mortar, if we don't start winning, you're not gonna get all those fans at home games. The crowd is gonna get smaller and smaller. Well, yes, but I don't know if John agrees with me. I think that if you want to build a soccer culture, you gotta be with your team through thick and thin. So,
Yeah, I
so,
think
so I
so.
mean, imagine how Chelsea fans feel right now. Imagine how no pun intended, Blackpool fans or Blackburn fans or even Stoke City fans sometimes feel, or Wrexham fans by all, if you want watch that thing, right? So I think fans are going to be there no matter what, right, John?
Yeah, I would say that what happens is the casual fans, we see a flux of them going up and down. And right now, the casual fans are high, and we're, beginning of the season. There's a lot of hype around us preseason. There's the good results of last year coming second. So people are interested. The casual fan is interested right now. They'll be coming, they'll be buying tickets. And yeah, if we throw games away like that by the summer, you'll lose a lot of those people.
Right.
We've seen that happen. But then what happened last year was we played really well, and a lot of those people came back. So for me, I'm not too fussed about attendance. Obviously, I want the stadium to be packed out all the time. I just think that we're a certain market size, and we seem to kind of max out around the 15 to 20,000 sort of solid range, and then we fluctuate into that 25,000. When we're doing well, we'll get a lot more fans. When we're not, we won't. But honestly, I think that the ones that really care are there all the time.
It says, muy rico suave. Atlanta's going to be a real test. Yakomakis is on fire, and our defense and keeper are in a rough patch. There you go. I'm panicking. It says on the ground. Pedro doesn't seem happy lately. Thank you so much. Duncan had a Marco Royce post at the end of the second goal, says Daniel Phillips. Oh, I mean, he's playing really well. If I'm a Blackburn fan, I'll be crying right now of how good of a form he's in right now, right? But we have a tough test ahead of us, guys. We have, and another thing I do want to say, it's, um, the defense, man. I mean, I think, we need to try some of those young kids, in my opinion. I think we need speed. We need 180 minutes in and out. And I know Rodrigo is, he's last season he played a long period of time by him, pretty much as a starter. And I think this year he's not himself a little bit. I don't know if you feel the same way there, John, or Paola, regarding Rodrigo Schlegel. I don't know. Paola wanted to say her
No,
piece on
I
Rodrigo.
mean, this is classic Schlegel in the beginning of the season. I don't know is if a season bug or something between the team, but it's normal that, well, sounds bad like said normal, but normally Schlegel it does he doesn't mark the striker when he needs to mark him. Like uh Pookie in the second goal, he was late to mark him, and we saw him that he was running to get a goal, and he was late. Like that's a classic move by Schlegel. Like when his head is in the game, is gonna he's in the game. But lately he's not. Like he's I call him ball watching. He's like, oh, there's the goes the ball. Oh, I need to defend, and then he runs after the ball. So I don't know. And then Galese for me is just a bad day at the office. Like he doesn't do errors, but when he commits an error,
They're
that's
horrible.
what happened on Saturday. Like that first goal. I just saw the highlights again and it was painful because I was like, "Ooh, we scored in the 13th second. We're going to win this thing." I'm happy, and then 3 minutes later, boom, a
Did
goal
you
because of an error of our number one keeper that it
do you
doesn't
guys
usually
see
happens.
the Arsenal game this weekend?
No, I didn't see it.
Aaron Ramsey, England goalkeeper, and Arsenal goalkeeper did exactly the same thing that
Oh
Pedro
Lord,
did. Tried to
there's
like
a
take the
bug there.
touch and try to, in the modern game, right? You have to play like keepers have to play more with their feet. They have to come out. They have to be sort of part of that build from the back system and play balls. And I think Pedro there just thought like he was able to like set himself up. Like he's setting himself up for the clearance, but he just needs to hit that first time. You can't. It's a risk that you don't want to be taking, and that's why. Because if a guy is charging you down, you have a bad touch. He
That's what
takes
you
the
get.
ball. You just got
Exactly.
Yeah,
to. That's why you see 9 times out of 10 keepers. What I call just clear house. Just smack that thing. I don't care if you do that. I don't care if it goes out for their throw in. I'd rather he did that than try and do what he did. Yes, on a Saturday.
yeah. I mean, it just seems that they were compact for most of the game. Orlando's back line. Um, I mean, they allowed 2 goals, but they were compact, and they should have remained compact through 90 minutes. That last goal was all Schlegel and Mackie Holiday not being able to run back into position. And again, you have a young kid like, I think that was Oluwasei. I do want to say it was not a Bongi. It was Oluwasei. Scored a great goal with speed, with stamina.
Wait, it
And
wasn't Bongi who scored the
was
goal?
it Bongi or I'm
No, it's
confused.
Bongi. Although I say is his last name. I can't. I
Oh,
just put
okay, yeah.
Bongi.
So so I don't know, man. I'm confused. Holduane and
they
then
have
Bongi.
they
Yeah,
have some very hard to pronounce
yeah.
African player
So
names.
so I do
I'm
say
looking at the players and I'm like, I'm
right.
not gonna push
I
that
just
So
one.
put Tani because I didn't want to write his second name.
right, right. So you know we gotta start. In my opinion, we gotta have a plan B. I mean, Rodrigo clearly is not gonna save us like he did last year, right?
No, that's why Brecalo is there, but we're saving it. So
Bracalo, we saved him for Tigres, but we should have had at least, you had Abdi, you had Thomas, you had, there's young
Maybe
options.
it's time for Abdi or
It's
Thomas
it
to
is
get more.
time.
it's
I feel like
time.
it is time. Geo too. Look, if Felipe
Yeah,
is not working for you,
This
I'm
is their
sorry.
time. That's too
Felipe.
true.
He just he's not adding much, is he? That's the thing. He's a good locker room guy. He's a great person. I think that he's spiritually adding a lot to our team, but as a midfielder, there's not a lot that he's bringing to the table.
Well, I think just he's in a different pace than the rest of the
Yeah,
mid.
he is. But that's what I'm
Right.
saying is without Cesar, I would almost be like, let's give Gio
Gio
more
the
chance
opportunity.
Well,
because I
let's see.
think Gio could become a really good talent in this
Yeah,
league. Whereas
yeah. Or
Felipe, I think,
even
is just what he is now. He's a midfielder who'll put it in a shift, but he's not going to be super exciting.
now another thing that I noticed and is that we are wetting the field excessively. Like if you look at this picture right here, I want to thank Terrence Clancy. He took pictures for the Minnesota the game against Minnesota. He did a phenomenal job. He's going to be working for us with us throughout the season for some games. He did a phenomenal job, and he took this picture here of Cesar. The ball, when they were passing the ball, water will be coming out, and I was looking from it,
Spray.
right? So I don't know if this is actually working against us when in a way we have to definitely think about that a little bit. But clearly I know it's being done so we dominate the possession and dominate, and we get used to playing in water, and it's going to make the game fast. But right now I feel like Minnesota also took advantage of that, especially at the later seconds of the game, in a way. And we, as we got tired, as our backline got tired, and that was good on their manager. They put fast players on the wings to cause some problems, and we were already kind of thinking that we're going to tie this game right at home. So
I think for me, and I want to get Paula's opinion on this, but it's more about the fact that we can't rely so much on our depth pieces. Like we rotated like 5 or 6 guys for this
mhm,
game. Some of them stepped up and played a decent game. Some of them did not, right? So if we can't rely on the likes of Schlegel to be a good backup center back, Mikey Halliday at the moment is not quite looking like the Mikey Halliday that we hope, right?
correct.
Et cetera. Like Santos is perhaps maybe even left back backup now, right? Not starting left back, and defensively can let a lot go by him. These guys, if we can't play them in MLS games and have them be reliable defensively, then the Champions League we're just gonna have this problem continue. You see what I'm saying? We need to have our second team, as it were, or most of that team playing up as if they're trying to get in the first team, because that's the way you get through this with some decent results. Right now, what we're seeing is that's not happening. So Oscar did the right thing. He did rotate a certain amount. He could have rotated even more, but the guys he rotated in didn't step up the way that we hoped they would, and therefore that we could see it. We could go back to like last Tuesday on this Tuesday. Does that make sense? We could see the team that we saw last Tuesday again be really solid defensively. But if we're not able to rely on those guys for the other weeks, I'm sure other games, then it's going to mean that we're going to keep seeing this. And Paula, the thing I wanted to ask you is it almost better? Not that I want this, knock on wood, but is it almost better to not continue in the Champions League because our league form is
Mm.
just going to continue to suffer?
I mean, and that's the real question, John. I've been asking this since last week on against Tigres. Like, are we all in the CONCACAF and not all in the MLS? Right? I mean, if we have the chance and the power to win the CCL, let's do it. But right now, when I'm looking at this team, I don't see us winning a CONCACAF championship. And that's my opinion, right? So I don't know if it's worth it right now. We lost all these points to, to advance to the next round, but at the same time, I don't see us passing a semifinal I don't want to have a bad juju for tomorrow's game. I hopefully they will shut me up tomorrow and we can prove them wrong in Mexico and we win. But at the same time, this is the chance if our second like our bench squad, like Schlegel, like Holiday, bring the academy players up and give them a chance. They're eager to start. They have that fuel in their hearts to play a role, a big role on the team. And maybe you can see some improvement or not. Because right now, Schlegel knows that he's the second, and probably he's like, oh, I'm the second. They rely on me. That's how I think, right? So this is the time you put academy players, Orlando B players, and for me, I want to see a MLS Cup, but at the same time, I want to see a CONCACAF Cup as well because it's good for the club. But at this point, I don't know. I don't see us winning the CONCACAF, to be
If you
honest.
look at it as two different like teams, almost like
Yeah,
our
yeah.
Champions League team
A and B.
is winning two, like 1-2 games and drew against Tigres. Champions League wise, we're doing well.
Hmm.
MLS wise, we're getting killed. So it's a little bit like right now we're looking at two different beginnings to the season.
I mean,
And
and
which one is we gonna end up? Are we gonna look like the team we did on Tuesday against Tigres most of the time, or are we gonna look more like the team that lost 5-0 to Miami?
hopefully against Tigres, and not the 5-0 against Miami. I will have
Look,
another heart attack.
But I think the longer we do both, the more likely it is that we're gonna go towards the bad end, if that makes sense. Like we almost just need to focus on. We don't have the squad right now to do both. We need to focus on one.
look,
But also our
clearly,
Champions League, we could go well in
We could
Champions
go.
League. It could happen.
It
Like if
could
we knock out
happen, right?
Tigres, I would
right.
say we could knock out anybody and win the whole thing.
I
But
mean,
if we do that, right, Louis? So if we continue in Champions League, at the same time, you're gonna watch MLS games where we don't look good. And I think we're
Yep.
just gonna have to accept that if we want to do well in the Champions League.
It's either or at this moment, like either or. And right now, I
You can't
calculated
have it
how
all right
many
now.
exactly either or.
now,
And no, go ahead,
n-
Luis. Sorry.
no, go ahead, Paula. Go ahead. Finish
No,
your point. Go ahead,
I
Paula.
was gonna say that we're missing big chances. You know how many corner kicks overall since the beginning of the season we have had? We have had 20 chances on corner kicks
No one single goal.
and negative negative zero goals
David
on those
Bracalo's
corners.
header in the Tigres game was the
Like
closest we came.
we could be a good team off the set piece. Now, I could speculate and sit down and say, it's because they don't practice it, at the practices. It's because Oscar doesn't really look into set pieces. I think, look, every single player on our attacking third can shoot from distance and can curve a really good ball. I mean, I even saw Muriel taking a free kick for crying out loud. When's the last time Muriel has done that in Italy? A long time ago. Don't ask me. But he did it with an Orlando City jersey. Now, we gotta take advantage of that. We have to. If we cannot do, if we're gonna miss so many chances, and we could look so fancy with the tiki taka and the short passing on the attacking third, we could look beautiful, but we could score zilch, nothing, nada, zero. I would rather play ugly but scoring goals. Like honestly, like and I think set pieces are there for that reason. Now, going back to the question that Paula was asking, you were asking John, look, any team in the world needs to be prepared for two competitions. And also any team in the world will never say, "Oh, I don't want to I don't want to pick one over the other." They're all going to say, "I want to go and compete and give my all in every single competition." And I believe that. I believe that Orlando believes that they can do both. Now, reality of the situation is the toughest competition, in my opinion, is Champions Cup, because you have teams like Tigres, like Monterrey, like Cincinnati, like Columbus. Like these are top teams right now, and the inferior and quote unquote inferior competition is the MLS, and so now we gotta have the depth, and we thought we had the depth to partake on both and excel on both. Now, clearly, do I believe it will be amazing, and I'll be probably cheering up myself just like everybody in Orlando if Orlando makes it to the finals of the Champions Cup? That would mean we are this close to go to the Club World Cup representing North America. You understand? Now, this is huge because that will have to mean that will mean that the team is ready to defeat possibly Last year's MLS champ, Columbus. They have to defeat one of the top teams in Mexico, Monterrey, Tigres' rival. So more than likely, Tigres' fans are going to root for us. And then we have to also beat Miami.
Well, it depends if you think Monterrey or Miami is going through, on that side,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then who we see in the
I think
semis.
Monterrey is gonna go forward
But
I
and
we have to
think,
take out
with Miami.
Columbus first. Even if we took Tigres out, probably then we have to take out Columbus. So that's two
yeah,
massive. I think if we get through those two, I would be like, yeah, who's next? Like, you know what I mean? I
correct.
think
No,
like I think that would be Tigres for me is a massive. If we can do it tomorrow,
yeah,
then
I'm,
I'm like,
I'm getting
screw
froggy.
MLS. Let's go all in on Tigres for
I'm
right
with you,
now.
John.
Right for right now. I also remember MLS is so long that we can still come back for an opportunity late in the season.
And go through and go to playoffs.
Yeah, but historically, if you look at what happens to look at what Seattle when they won it, their MLS season at the beginning was not good. Anybody who's done well in the Champions League in an MLS team, the beginning of the year, does not also at the same time do well in MLS. It just you cannot do it. And the reason, and I agree with Luis that you have to be able to do both. Like if I'm Manchester City, I can do both
Of
because I
course,
have guys like Doku on the bench
right?
who are waiting to play
You
in
have
like
Julian
midweek Champions
Alvarez.
League
Come
games.
on, man.
Fine. But MLS, the way they've structured it and the way that the league set up and the wages and everything else, you're having to rely on guys. You're not able to build and that's the biggest challenge against Tigres that we see. Tigres can rotate and have depth pieces that are on way more money than we're able to have our depth pieces at. So once you get out of those starting 11s, they've got more money in their squad than us. And that will kind of show when you're playing twice a week. So if we can knock through Tigres, I think Champions League, I would be like, throw it all at that. MLS is what it is until it's over, and then we'll focus on it again.
Now, if we beat Tigres, we'll go through, possibly face Columbus, right? And then I feel, and this is crazy, Cincinnati. Imagine Facu goes to Miami. No, let's say Facu goes to Tigres, right? Let's say Facu goes to Tigres.
I think there's a high chance Paco
and then we
will play.
face Tigres. No. Imagine that's what happened with Brandon Vasquez. That's what
Oh, you mean they sign him?
right? Imagine if
Yeah.
if Facu signs for Tigres, then we face Tigres in CCL, right? And
At home.
Facu scores on us at Interco. That's exactly what
Horrible.
happened with Brandon Vasquez.
I mean, that was wild.
That was
The fact
wild.
that he scored against his own club that
The
quickly.
morale of Cincy fans, like they broke down.
I would be like, why the betrayal, Vasquez?
Right? So I think Monterrey will go through, even though I think Cincinnati is a great competitor. Now, if the soccer gods do their job, Nashville, if they play like they did the first half, they should beat Miami. And actually, I would love for them to go through. Because, and I'm not downplaying Nashville. I think Nashville is a great team. Tough competitor for sure. Great city. But, it's going to be Nashville, Monterrey, right? And then Orlando, if they go through against Columbus. Now you start seeing, Monterrey, Nashville, Columbus. We've played Nashville, we've played Columbus, obviously lost with both at some point with Oscar. But you start seeing in the horizon semis, hopefully, right?
Maybe. I'm hopeful, but we got to get through tomorrow
I'm
first.
taking it. Yeah, I'm taking it game by game.
Well, they have a Super Saiyan.
It's the hair that does that, isn't it?
The hair,
it's the hair with the
which, by the way, bad hair.
He's trying to steal Duncan's look. That's what it is.
That's right. Well, we have I have a colleague that covers Tigres. She sent me a little bit of her overview on what's happening. I don't know if it will be able to play, but essentially, pretty much, she says that Orlando and Tigres are coming with the same momentum. Like, I mean, Tigres has lost 2-0 against Club America, and they're also they used to be a team that would capitalize on chances based on the individual prowess of its players, especially in the attacking third. So Quiñones on the wing, Guignac scoring on the box, and things like that. But now lately, they have not been doing their due diligence to score. They're not really scoring in many goals at all, as they did in the past. Um, a lot of fans are looking for new blood, essentially, to play for Tigres for next season or for the upcoming clausura in Mexico. So they're in a very similar momentum as we are. So they're looking at this as we beat Orlando, and we kind of they bring back some life into their club in a way, because right now they're just like us. They're not in the best form possible when it comes to results, and some of their players are not playing well.
Do you
So
have their lineup from the last game, Luis?
yeah, sure, I can go ahead and put it up right now.
I was wondering to see how many of their guys they started. Like, obviously, we rotated a lot, and we saw different guys go out. But
Yeah.
I don't know if they did that same thing.
Yeah, they rotated majority of the team, I do have to say,
Okay.
compared
There you
to.
go.
Hold on, let me go ahead and put it up right now. um if you want to read some comments there, Paula.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Al Negron, I don't believe we have the depth to compete in both tournaments. I agree with Paola. We have no chance in CCL. Hopefully, they prove us wrong. We need a left back.
No
Can't
chance.
rely
Oh, my
on
Yeah.
dreams.
Kyle only on for defense. That's. I agree. I agree. Anthony Solis, I also think we might have some bad juju when playing with white jerseys at home. It either ends in a draw or a loss.
I think you
Yeah.
mean lavender jerseys.
It's lavender, yeah.
Mhm.
Antonio Solis, if Cesar is out for months, we need to consider other options. Or also, with Cartagena losing his cool, maybe give players like Felipe more of a starting role alongside Mohamed.
I would like to see Mohammed and Cartagena.
Yeah,
Now,
What, Shaq back there in the D mid? Are you
yeah, you
talking
can do it.
like
you can
I
do
would
it.
like I think we should put
Or
Gio in.
Cartagena, you're only six, and then you put Shaq on the left, and then you put Lodero on the right.
He might go to the 4-4-2. I mean, we saw that in the
Yeah.
second half of the game when
I mean,
Muriel and Duncan was on.
in looking at the Tigres last formation, and we were 0-0, and that was the formation 4-4-2, and we saw it a little bit after the almost the end of the game. So I think he's gonna change it to 4-4-2 going forward.
We just don't have the
I
the
think
midfield right now because like the other thing I think he could do is put Ladero there a lot, which makes me a little nervous because Nico is not the best defensively. So if we stick with like the double pivot, but he just replaces Ladero with Cesar, I feel like that's not
I
the
don't think
best
it's gonna
option,
work.
especially against like
Mm-mm.
an opponent like Tigres. Nico is just not the same defensively as a replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nyoki says Nico doesn't play defense. Ask Seattle. Yeah, like I get it. You're a certain age, but it's a little bit of the Mauricio in there where he's not willing to make a challenge.
We're talking about Mauricio. He scored with his current club.
I
Now he's
saw
scoring.
that.
I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah, but look, so this is the lineup that played against Club America, right? And they lost 2-0. Now this is the
Can you
lineup
read
that
them
they
out for our
played.
listeners, Luis?
Yeah, so sorry. So it is Guzman up top, Tercero Reyes Sánchez Garza, Gorrarian, Fierro, and then Lainez, Brunetta, Flores, and then right up top, Ibanez. Heavily rotated. The only ones that are starters
Burnetta
is
is not the starter 10, right? Linez is not a starter
no
10?
Linez
Sorry,
is a
starter winger?
starter.
Just
Linez is a
Linez.
starter. Guzman is a starter, and Garza.
Reyes? I thought Reyes and Guzman.
Yeah, Guzman, and Garza, and I'll say Reyes
Yeah. So
and
similar to
Sanchez.
us.
So the back four is the same one, but
Yeah.
the attacking third is all different. Like for example, you're talking about Guignac, obviously, Cordova, Vigon, Carioca, Quiñones. Like those players did not get to play. Also in the back line, Garza, Sanchez, all of those are backups. I'll show you. This is the so they literally the only starter that started against America was Lainez. The rest was the bench, literally.
Well, the back four, you said, and the
Yeah,
goalkeeper,
no, no,
but
no, no,
out
no,
of the
no.
midfield, just
Yeah,
Linez,
yeah.
pretty
So
much.
I'll show you right here. Look. So this is
Yeah.
the one that played against Orlando. So the only player that played against America and
Wow.
Orlando as a starter was Lainez
And Guzman,
and
but yeah,
Guzman.
the
Yeah, and then
goalkeeper.
the rest of the team is completely different.
That is a
That
whole new
means,
back four.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're all going to be well rested. So like I
Quinones,
said,
though, he won't be available because he's still rolling from the last game,
yeah.
so he won't be here.
Aquino was had a little bit of a knock, but I heard that from my source there in Mexico, he's back in full form, so he should be a starter for against Orlando City.
How
Now,
many yellow cards do the player needs to not play on the next game? 2?
I don't know in Champions League. I think it's
Because this
3.
one always confused me. Like,
I don't know. I
is
gotta look
it
it up for
2?
Champions League.
Yeah, I don't
I think
remember.
it's 3 per but then there's like a division of rounds. I think they get wiped after like
Oh, if they're
like the
in the
World
round of
Cup. They
16,
get
they
wiped at a
start.
certain
Okay,
time. I'd have to look that
okay,
one up.
gotcha. Because I
Are we in
remember
danger?
someone was no.
yeah, so it's two single yellow cards in two different matches.
That's
Then you're
it. Just
suspended the
2.
following game.
Just 2 yellow cards over 2 games.
Hmm.
And I
That's
don't know if
madness.
Cartagena did had one in against Calvary.
Yeah, two yellow cards result in one match suspension.
So we lost anyone already? Because it seems like
Cartagena,
that's
I'm gonna
something that
look.
could happen.
I'm gonna look because
Cartagena
Cartagena
here.
did received a yellow card. Araujo as well, but I don't know. Like
How
Araujo's
are
not going,
Is that you,
obviously.
Cartagena? Is that
how are
you?
Tigres got a player on the field if that's the rule in Champions League? Come on, these guys must get like multiple yellows, surely.
Oh man.
But it's not based on the rounds or anything, right?
But
It's just
Quinones
two
should have had
games,
a yellow
two
for
consecutive
Maddox
games.
last game. Gosh.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yes, too, says Gnocchi. GoTube TV, pongan huevos. Los de Orlando, pongan huevos. Sin cesar, que esta noche, cosa lo que cueste, tenemos que ganar. There you go. Good job, good job. It's a nice. I thought one of our, arengas, one of our was gonna be Vamos, 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 mis leones. I thought that was one of them. Stream Jesus, glad, glad to see your smiles. Thank you, Stream Jesus. Appreciate that. You're always smiling too in all the pictures I see from you.
That's because he's Jesus. Of course he's
That's right.
smiling.
Nico does not play defense as Seattle. It says whether the jersey brings us bad results or not, that jersey's fire though. No, I do agree. It's gorgeous, and what he means to it too. Then that's what sucks a little bit about is that we're coming to this form on such an important year, right? So hopefully we can turn this around. But you want to do the lineup for Orlando City, guys?
Yeah, I think
let's do it.
let Paula do the lineup.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
gonna
So
go. Oh, whenever you're ready, Luis. Sorry about that. I'm trying to check about the yellow cards. I have PTSD. Having Cesar out and we cannot
I
afford Wilder.
genuinely thought it was like three cards.
No, no, I remember it
Two
was like
cards is so
2.
short. That's crazy.
I
It's
think
got to
we
be
lost
wiped though.
someone.
I think it's wiped at like the semi or something.
I think we lost someone last year. That's why that's why I remember
We
having
only
like
played 2 games last year. Of course, we lost. We lost Oscar for the beginning of this year, but that was a red card,
I don't or I don't know. I don't remember
or
where
it
I
was the
saw it.
second yellow for Oscar.
All right.
Okay.
So
Look
we
at that
have.
Tigres kid there showing
El
the strength.
Tigres.
There you go.
I'm going
So
with
That's my
so
Tigres chant.
Mason Stadahar.
no, dude.
Okay, sorry about that.
Even though that I'm mad at
Luis, you've lost
Galese.
all faith in your
Yeah,
your
one little
compatriot. You're
error.
the guy that
Well,
you are there rooting for. You just
No,
want to
but
wipe him off the team.
okay, but could you believe though that Peru, the national team, they're playing tough competition? Are you ready to know the competition is, guys? Nicaragua and Dominican Republic for friendlies. While the rest of South America is playing Italy, Denmark, Chile's playing France with Mbappe. We're playing good old Nicaragua and good old Dominican Republic. We're gonna learn some bachata. No, so that's
Oh
great.
dear.
Mangu,
So you have Galese. We ready for Dagger Dan?
Dagur, give
I
me
think
that.
he's. I think he's
He
been.
got pulled off to be rested for this game
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
He was pulled out of 50.
So then, Brecalo, man,
Brecalo,
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 Brecalo.
Brecalo,
Brecalo.
Do not
100
Brecalo.
say
million.
it the other way. It's Brecalo.
Jensen, Jensen,
Hanson.
Does
and
anyone
then
else want to say
I'm
Jansen with a
going.
Y? Because we say so many player names all the time that are Spanish. So I start saying Jansen, even though it's Jansen.
Yeah, I know.
He's not Hispanic, so
I
he's
know.
just Jansen.
So
Janson.
Kyle Smith.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Cal
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Smith
go with
because
Kyle.
Santos goes super up and then he cannot recoup. Kyle Smith can hold that fort.
That's the
There's a
back four
player.
that
There's a player in
didn't let
Peru
them
that
score
reminds
last
me of.
time.
There's a player in Peru that reminds me of Kyle Smith. His name is Aldo Corso. Aldo Corso. He plays the same position as him. Yeah, and he plays exactly like him.
He
If
scores
Kyle ever gets into the U.S. men's national team and gets to play Peru, and they meet, it'll be like, is that my doppelganger? It'll be like the Spider-Man,
like the meme.
like the meme with the Spider-Man right there. It'll be like that. They play exactly the same. So are we gonna? I don't know if we're gonna see the double pivot, but I think we're gonna
No,
see. In my opinion, I think we're gonna see Felipe and Cartagena. Cartagena's card because it was in the MLS does not drag out to CONCACAF Champions Cup. So I have a feeling he's gonna be a
Yeah.
starter.
gracias Dios.
And
Yeah, he got a yellow card against Tigres, but I don't think he has another one, so we're good.
then right here we will see Felipe.
All right, we'll plan for Wilder not to be in the next game if we go through.
Probably.
That ain't no way he's playing this game and not getting yellow against Tigres. I'm sorry, but
That's
it's
why I
not.
laughed because I
That
didn't
is
thought about it,
not
John.
happening. Well, cue next week if we go through because he is not playing.
No,
Touche,
here Faku because we rested him.
And
No,
Luis,
if he's still questionable, it'll be a huge blow for
He
Orlando.
flew. I saw him in the video.
Yeah.
Luis,
So,
I sent you some.
what?
I sent you some breaking news.
Dum dum
We got breaking
dum.
news.
Dun dun dun.
Wait.
There's the
That's the music. That's what.
There you go, guys. Breaking news. We got breaking news, guys. All right, breaking
You want-
news. John.
Oh, go ahead, Luis.
you
Go ahead. Put it up.
Oh, for
breaking
me.
news.
All right, breaking news.
Well, it's about Faku, so that's
Well,
why I said
Orlando
you got to break the
City
news.
want to say hello to my good friend Mike Ramajo, Mr. Double Question. I'm just kidding. It's a two-parter question. He always says he has a two-parter question. I want to say hello to Mike. Both Oscar Pareja said today that Facundo Torres is recovered from his shoulder injury and he's good to go for the Champions Cup game as well. Cesar Araujo, he's waiting on the final medical check. So he's waiting on the final medical report. He said that at the post press conference. I guess they don't want to say exactly what it is. I'm sure they already know.
Yeah.
But we're still TBD on Cesar Araujo.
I
So
think they just don't want to officially announce it before the
right.
Tigres game
They
in
don't want
case
people
these
to freak
things.
out.
Yeah, like they're just like, wait, or just they don't want Tigres to know whether he's going to be in
Correct.
or not 100%, you know.
There you go. So we are here at the 10. I mean,
It's got to be
who do you
Nico
think?
again, you think?
I'm
I
gonna,
don't
yeah.
know.
I feel
Could be Ojeda.
I feel Galese. I'm sorry. I feel I'm stuck with Galese. I feel Ojeda. It's probably going to be the one who's going
You
to
think
start.
so? I will
I
give
would
him a. I will give
prefer
him a choose.
Ojeda. I
Right.
would prefer Ojeda. I just don't know if I feel like Oscar really values the Champions League experience that Nico has. Having
But
won
also,
it.
we need that experience out of the bench
I mean,
to
because
prove.
I agree with you guys. I just think Oscar's more likely to play Nico.
mm,
But I would prefer him
probably.
to play Ojeda.
Well, probably because he probably wants to hold
Or
Tigres off.
if Baku's not 100%, maybe Ojeda starts on the right wing
Right.
and then goes into the 10 and then they bring Faku on.
Mhm.
No, I think Facu's going from the get-go.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think Facu's going from the get-go.
There's also a horrible world where he puts Nico in the 8 next to Felipe. I'm sorry, next to Wilder.
No, I feel like
Instead of Felipe. I wouldn't do that, but he might.
so I feel if we see this eventually in the second half, we could see this. And then you put and then your first sub is Nico.
So you move from like the double pivot into like a 4-3-3, and you've
Correct.
got Ojeda and Nico both
4-3-3
kind of
like
playing
this.
the
Correct.
8-10 roles with Wilder in the 6.
Uh-huh.
I could see that.
I have a
I can
feeling.
see that.
I have a feeling. First, he's going to go and say, "Okay, Felipe, bro. Okay, a lot of social media, my friend. Great, man. Retweet me, bro. Great, great PR, my friend. I need to be at 8 now. You need to be scrappy."
Felipe could step up in
and
an
I know he
we could see
can.
that. It's not unreasonable to think that
And I
Felipe
know
can step it
he
up.
has tons of experience in the MLS. He's a veteran, so I have a feeling
Maybe
that
he just needs a run of games.
correct. I think this is where he's gonna go. Plus, he's really good at playing mind games with the other
butcher.
We need
That's how you
two,
call him?
workhorses in there. We need two guys in that mid to put the shift in, honestly.
No, you could I mean you could see that eventually if let's say he goes for Nico from the start, you can maybe see the first change either for Cartagena or Felipe. You could see Gio coming in, or you could see Shaq coming in at that point and using the same 4-3-3, switching to a 4-3-3.
I guess this is a question about larger, like in the tactics and everything, but I see him starting with a very defensive lineup.
Yeah, me too.
Because I think he's going for the 1-0 Pappy special in this one. Paula, is that how you see it?
I agree. I couldn't go on off mute. Sorry. Yes.
Now, who's gonna be your 9? Muriel or Duncan?
I'm going for
Luis.
Muriel.
I think
What-
I'm going for Muriel also.
Mhm.
Which is crazy because Duncan just scored 2 goals. So
yeah, maybe he
play
was,
Duncan because Luis hasn't scored yet, but
we saw what Tigres center backs did against Duncan.
he came so close, Muriel, against Tigres as well, like a few chances. So
This is a different beast. That's why I put Muriel.
I mean, you you
than
you have
Duncan.
you have one of their center backs. What's his name of this cat? Either Sanchez, which is a sub, or you have Samir, the Brazilian. Like Samir was Samir and Pizarro had Duncan completely covered.
Have
Like,
you noticed that they look extremely similar?
Who,
yeah, they do.
Pizarro
Samir
and
and
Samir?
Pizarro, they're like
Yeah,
literally the same looking
yeah,
dude in center back.
I need
yeah,
to check on that tomorrow. I'm looking
yeah.
at the
But
pictures. They don't
yeah,
look alike, but
From
probably in
yeah,
the
far
but
TV.
when you
away, from
see
far away on
Uh-huh.
TV, yeah.
yeah, like when you see Muriel and you see Dunk. I mean, not to say. I mean, probably they're gonna be more careful with Muriel because Muriel can look for a contact and look for a penalty kick. You know, Muriel is really good as a pivot of a set piece. You know, be able to take advantage of those chances. Something
The
that
other reason I don't think we'll see Duncan start is because he played almost 90 minutes on Saturday,
correct.
and we haven't seen that a lot from him, right? Like last season he played 60, 70 minutes to get tired. So it was great. Like he scored late. It was great to see him play a full 90 and play energetically for a full 90.
He
But I
was getting
really
cramps too at the end.
right, I don't think he's gonna be ready to go starting. I think that was because we wanted to rest Muriel and not play him and only threw him on at the end of the game pretty much.
So this is historic, guys. We started this pod with, you know, maybe like 3 people watching us, maybe 4 people. We've reached a record of 105 people watching us right now,
Woohoo!
and
Drop
89,
your comments.
90 of them are on Twitter, and we have about 20 on YouTube. So that's amazing, guys. That's
Thank
fantastic.
you, everybody.
Thank you for everyone for your support. Daniel Phillips, how about a 2-0 Duncan special? That could
I wish, man. Yeah.
Does that
But yeah,
come with like a side as well? You know, it's like
of
two
Muriel.
coffees
I
and a
would like
donut, a Dunkin' special.
medium matcha latte iced with a shot of espresso and 3 split.
For
Ooh.
real. We need to
That's my
get him
order.
like our actual Dunkin' sponsorship. Let's work on that,
There you
huh?
go. Jesus is purple. Amen. Bombazo tia May. That's right. That's right. Just breathe, guys. Breathe. Remember, lions roar louder than tigres. Let that sink in. This is Jesus. At our best, we can beat Tigres. Yeah, Tigres is not coming too great. A lot of the pundits in Mexico are actually giving Orlando a shot at this, which is very surprising. They're saying that this Tigres squad is far from what they used to be. And they're probably not going to
Well,
win anything this year, according to what they're saying. Yeah,
that brings us to score predictions.
correct. You want to start?
Daniel
Paul?
Phillips says 2-0.
From Duncan.
Oh, I don't know about 2-0. Maybe. I think they're gonna score one. I think it's written in the stars to be this 1-1, and we go through on away goals like last year.
Marmo.
It just something about that just seems too sweet not to happen. Even though I'd love to get the win, I do think they are stronger at home. I do think they will score. So I think if we're getting through this, we got to score one ourselves. In which case, I'm gonna go for the 1-1 with a Luis Muriel goal. Even though I was down on him after the last game, and I'm starting to get a tiny little bit worried that the man hasn't scored yet. So I'm going to keep predicting him
Nah,
to
I'm good with
score.
that.
I'm going to keep predicting him to score in the hopes that he makes it happen for me.
You want mine, Luis?
Well, I think I want to be hopeful. I want to be the positive one here. I think everything clicks in this game. Facu comes back with a vengeance. He's our DP. The floodgates will open. Orlando wins 3-1 in Mexico, making history.
3 goals.
And then we go through, and then we have to face Columbus, and then we're without Cartagena, without.
If we win 3-1, I don't know what I'm going to be doing at 11 o'clock at
Give me a
night. I'm
beer,
so
man. Give me a
excited in my
beer.
own
I will
room,
be like,
Excited to see each
bedroom.
other.
Yeah, I'll be like, don't wake up.
If we win 3-1, man, man, that's epic right there. That would definitely be, everybody would be like, okay, we're back in the game. Okay, we're back. Everybody's is gonna hype the whole Orlando.
Epic
Oh,
scenes.
I would love that. And then you're beating Tigres, man. It's a huge team, and then obviously you have to face Monterrey next, probably Columbus, and then Monterrey.
Paula, are you like me? Are you like let's just scrape through, or are you like Luis, where you're like let's do
I feel
this?
that the stars are aligning for us to have a revenge of last year. We went to Tigres, it was 0-0. They came here, it was 0-0. Now we're going over there, and it's going to be 1-1, but we need to score first.
And
And I
we've done that
say
already.
that.
The fastest goal.
The, how many seconds can we score a
13
goal?
Duncan will be
As
on the
Duncan,
field.
13 seconds took
13
Duncan
seconds.
to score a goal. So, with that
All I
being
was eating
said,
her cholo dog, and then
I was like,
we
what the
scored.
heck just happened? The whistle just blowed. Anyways, the reason that I say that we need to score first is we tend to be super hype when we score first, but then if they scored on us
Yeah,
first, we go
we go
down.
droopy.
We
Yeah,
go like, oh, we like,
we go like
and
Eeyore from
desperate to
Winnie the
score.
Pooh. Oh bother, oh bother.
Exactly. So we need to score first. Let me tell you that 1-1. We're gonna get the W. We're gonna go to the next phase.
I totally agree on the needing to score first. I think if they
Yeah,
score first, also they will just Tigres their way through it by just
that
throwing
is.
themselves on the ground, or just they can time waste and burn
Right.
time and make bad calls with the best of them. So if we let them get ahead, then they'll just do that and kill the game.
Hey,
So
I didn't say who was gonna score my goal.
Oh, sorry.
Let's go to let's go Muriel. Gonna go Muriel, even though Facu's
Yes.
in the shades. Hopefully he can get the score, but Muriel, I'm gonna go with Muriel.
it'll be
He
great
owes
to
us.
see Muriel score for sure. And I do want to say that is one of the positives I see, and I know not so many positives from the Minnesota game, but that's probably one of the positives, huge positives from the Minnesota game, is that we scored like super fast first. We hit him where it hurts in the beginning of the game, and but we just gotta keep that momentum, right, defensively. Like we need to be on point. We can't have these defensive
Error.
woes, because then we're gonna get, we're playing against one of the best teams in Mexico. Whether they're going through a horrible slump like we are, they're still a top team there.
What we need to see is the defense from last Tuesday's game against Tigres
Against
again,
in the
but
attack.
the attack from the second half of the
Correct.
Cavalry game at home.
I
Or
agree.
with the same chances that we saw on Saturday, but actually putting the ball in the net.
I
'Cause
didn't
we
even
had
want
our
to bring
chances.
Saturday into it, Paula, because now you're just saying we're gonna get up there and miss everything again.
No,
No, no.
you're missing the number 12 factor too. But Orlando has played with that crowd before when they went to El Volcan as well last year.
Yeah.
So
If
it should
We
not
had a
affect
if we
phenomenal
Orlando
throw
game
anymore.
away
though, I
chances
remember.
against Tigres like we did against Minnesota, I'll be so angry, because against Minnesota it's like one thing, but if we create chances like that in El Volcan and don't take them,
No, we
oh,
need to. We need to. I think the stars are aligning for us to score at Mexico. I'm telling you. Let's see.
Let's hope. Let's read some comments. GoTube TV says, "Nah, Paola, it's gonna be 1-1 over there. We're gonna clap them 2-0. There you go. It's okay. So it's not gonna be 1-1. We're gonna
No. Yeah.
hell yeah,
Hopefully,
Luis,
brother.
three to
Hopefully.
one. Yeah, I will love 3-1 win or 3-0 win. It will be just everybody just kind of like Kara last year. Right? It will be just like that silence. Okay,
honestly, I'll take anything just
anything,
to
anything.
wipe the smile off their
Yes.
faces.
John, we're
I
desperate. We
don't
take
As long
care.
as we
anything.
win,
I don't care
yeah,
how we win.
I
As
agree.
long as we win, I don't care.
2-1 Muriel getting both for us is Carlos Guilla. Thank you so much. Wolf Jacks 1-1 reverse from last year. Thank you, sir. 2-0 Duncan Special, says Daniel Phillips. There you go. Yeah, it's gonna be an amazing game. It's historic. I don't know if I should we do a watch along? That's gonna be tough.
That's gonna be tough,
I
man.
think it's
But
going to be late for a lot of people.
What time is
They're
it?
going
Is
to
it
be
at 11?
snoozing. It's actually
10:30. Let me look at
10:30.
it.
It was advertised in several places 11:30. Then it's actually 10:30.
I think because of the
So
time change.
Yeah, it's because time difference with
yeah, that's what
Mexico.
it was. But
Sure.
even 10:30 is
It's
loca.
super late. I'll
Are
be
you
like,
guys gonna watch it laying in your bed with your
I'm
pajamas
gonna be
on?
wearing my jersey. I don't have Orlando City pajamas, or else I'd be putting those on. But yeah, I'm gonna be chilling at home, trying to keep my girlfriend awake, but she's definitely gonna fall asleep.
Yeah, she's gonna
that's
fall
like
asleep.
Alec. He's gonna be like,
Alex
on
gonna
her.
fall asleep?
Yeah.
Come on,
Like he
Alex.
drives to the office. I don't drive to the
He's the
office.
tired
So
one.
yeah.
Well, you just gotta like throw beer on him if he falls asleep or something.
Don't
Wake up.
fall
We
asleep.
scored.
Well, hopefully we can get that brace tomorrow. We get that win. Any
or,
closing
or
remarks?
or you go like gone and then you just
Or like,
You just gotta jump up.
you just
Have you
hit it
guys
with
seen
a pillow. Gone.
The German fans who are like celebrating in silence? Have you seen that video?
Yeah.
no,
That's what
I
it'll
need to
be
look.
like for Paola. She'll be like, but she can't say anything.
It happened to me in the Calvary game. When Duncan scored, I'm like, I was like that. On mute. I was on mute, celebrating on
Really?
mute.
Shout out to everybody who's silently celebrating tomorrow night when we score.
Yes, that
Yeah,
will be a hashtag. Hashtag silently celebrating on
and not
Twitter.
only and I would say I think it'd be great also for the league that Orlando goes through, and that more MLS teams go through in this CONCACAF Champions Cup, because in the end it shows that the league is growing, and they can essentially, you know, they could face any Mexican team and defeat them. There's no longer a Mexican hegemony, I think is what that's the word called. Right? It's so, we'll see what happens.
Luis, read that last comment right there from Danny.
It says silent celebrations always. I've got 3 little kids. There you go.
It would be awesome if we record ourselves like celebrating on mute and then we put it on the next pod.
I've I've done that before
You
too.
done that before? I'm gonna do it
Yeah,
tomorrow.
at the press box. I had on I take my tablet to the press box. I do want to say before I go, I take this tablet to the press box, and sometimes I have to watch the Peruvian games for the Peruvian league that I cover. I have to watch them on my tablet while the game is on, and there was like El Clasico there, and then the team that I support scored, and I'm like, and I could obviously it's a silent working press room, so I couldn't I couldn't say
So
it. I was just
let me ask you this, Luis. When Duncan scored last Saturday and then
mm,
Minnesota answered us back, were you like you guys were looking at each other like, what the heck just happened, or
no,
nothing?
I
No
mean
expression at all?
there was a Minnesota guy next to me,
Oh, okay.
so the guy was like, yeah. It was a weirdest expression. Like,
So he's allowed to celebrate.
no,
Okay.
he wasn't celebrating, but he did a weird, yeah, like, yeah.
Like
Like, I was like, what
oh,
the hell?
And you're like,
Yeah, I was like, what?
excuse me.
No, but I was just like, this is horrible. I was like, why? You just scored the fastest goal in the MLS, and as fast as that, it's
Quack,
over,
quack, quack.
right? The third goal was the worst one. The third goal, I was just like, come on,
Yeah.
man. It's your
Yeah, the second one
anniversary
is fine,
night.
but
I
the
was
first
like,
one and the
You
third
can't
one.
do that to 23,000 people, man. Like, and you can see the frustration. And then the scuffle was the worst, because I was like, guys, sometimes life teaches you have to lose with dignity, man. You know what I mean? Minnesota were better. That's why they won.
That
So
really escalated fast. That was crazy.
escalated
It was like,
super
yeah.
quickly.
Crazy. It was crazy.
And then
That was crazy.
when they asked Oscar, he's like, "Oh, I didn't see anything." This is David
There's you.
David Albery. Thank you so much. What's up, everyone? Love the show. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it.
Paulo, you want to take us out, or else we'll be here forever saying
Yes,
hello.
sir. So thank you for all the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like the video, hit that notification bell button. So anytime that we put upload a video, you will get a notification. VIP treatment right there from YouTube. Luis, show us what you're trying to show there right now.
I wanted real quick before we go. I wanted to thank Orlando City. They been covering the team for a lot for it seems like a long time, but it's been a few years, and they gave me this beautiful present, which I will do an unboxing video fairly soon, and it'll be all over our page and our website. You know, thank you so much. I want to say this to everyone at the club. I wasn't expecting it. I guess we were the only. I guess I would like to think. Well, that maybe we were the only few ones. I mean, I don't know, because typically these go to you know Wesh and and the big outlets, right? I mean,
We're
it's
big, Luis. What are you talking about?
but this is also you guys, and I want to say the people that are watching, you guys make us be and provide great content to you, and your support makes tons of difference. A lot of time and dedication goes to this podcast and into this brand, and it's all thanks to you. So we will do the unboxing of this, and I want to thank the club for this beautiful present. It means a lot because 10 years in the MLS. I like I told the club. I remember the. I still have all my Disney Wowler Sports cups. I have green, I have yellow, I have red, I have blue. I used to go to the USL matches,
You
and
know,
then when when the transition happened on 2015, we still Society 21, and then eventually getting to cover the club is an honor, and we do it not to expect anything, but we do it with just to promote the club and promote the culture that we're building. I think all of us as fans. So we wanted to thank you for that. Thank you to Orlando City for that as well. And, very, very happy that they're recognizing the hard work that we all, John, Paola, and myself put on into this brand. And it means a lot.
I got a really quick funny story about those jerseys. So back when I was in marketing and like sort of when there wasn't a merchandise department, I used to do those jerseys every year for the like, and this is when we were a USL team. I would do them for all of the press around town, and we'd send them out to all of the press to try and get them to like promote us and talk to us and wear them. And there was one guy that we sent out a jersey to like one year, and he didn't. I don't know what happened. He didn't take it. Whatever. It came back, but somehow his name stayed on the list for like the next 4 years. So every year I'd print this guy a jersey, and he would never take it. Nobody took it. Apparently, this guy didn't exist. I don't even know who he was. So I had like a bunch of jerseys from this one person with his name on the back printed for every year, and he never got them.
Do you still have them?
What's his name?
Yeah, I
Omar
was trying to
Bamba.
remember the name of the guy, but it's classic because me and Jamie Chin used to laugh about it all the time because he was running the media at the
He's a
time,
ghost.
and and I could say to Jamie like, "Yo, you just put this guy on here so you get a free jersey." And like year after year, every year I'd give it to Jamie, be like, "Well, here's your one for the guy that doesn't exist." But
So you don't have those jerseys anymore.
I can't remember his name. I'll have to
What's his
text
last
Jamie.
name? Bamba.
I can't remember. It was
Omar
a white man name. It was a gringo name. I'll tell you that.
Well,
But I don't remember honestly.
another reason to hit that notification bell, so whenever Luis do the unboxing, you will get that notification in your cell phone so you can see that video. For those who listen to our content only audio, please follow us on Apple Music, on Spotify. Give us a follow and 5-star rating if you want. We will appreciate that. Follow us on social media as LPO_podcast, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook as Loud and Proud Orlando. Um, you can follow me in social media as well at Lola_Pow13 and my Spanish content podcast, Tiro de Esquina. We're gonna release a new one tomorrow talking about Miami, talking about I forgot. Tigres, Minnesota, and future prediction for Tigres for tomorrow. So keep it tuned. And John and Luis, how we can follow you?
You can follow me at on X at Pineda_ORL. If you are Peruvian or you like to know about Spanish, you can follow me at Ladra el Fútbol and on YouTube. We're there every day at 10:30 p.m. Thank you so much, guys.
Awesome, John.
You can find me at John Rollins OCSC on X. I'm there most of the time, and also on Instagram, just as John Rollins.
Awesome. One more thing left. Let's say it, team. Vamos,
Vamos,
Orlando.
Orlando.
Vamos, Orlando!
Vamos, Orlando, guys. Have a good one.